Hey everybody, what is going on? Brother Ghesh here. So today we're going to be continuing our streaming tutorial series. The last video we talked about just looking at OBS, adding stream elements into it, and just kind of having a general idea of what each of the features in the program does. Today we're going to be looking at things like adding to scenes as far as like overlays, widgets, even maybe having a chatbot in there just to kind of enhance features and the look of your channel. So we're going to go ahead and just open up OBS just to have like a little blank slate. I'm going to see a black screen for probably a second. So I'm just going to go ahead, and this is my blank scene that I have set up. So as you'll see here, I have a starting scene already made for the purpose of this video. So we're gonna go into stream elements. You're gonna log into stream elements, log in with your Twitch name, and then you're gonna go to the themes gallery. Now what's cool about stream elements is it does have, you know, some basic themes you can look at, just like, you know, simple one size fits all type screens, but then they also have super themes, which these come with like different scenes for each scene you might have in mind. Like if you want to have like a starting screen, a be right back screen, a capture screen, like it's got all that built into one in here. And it even has like, you know, it's tailored to games, it's tailored to certain themes, you know, whatever you're feeling. So, you know, let's pick one that looks cool. How about this one? So you can preview it. It'll show you kind of what it looks like. So let's say we'll pick this one. So you create overlay, and then you just give it a name, hit create overlay. It's going to give you all of the links here that you would add into OBS for it to show up. If you just want to click it and then add it right then and there, then great, you're done. But we're actually going to go into overlays, my overlays, to see the themes, and it'll tell you what each one kind of means. So I'm not going to go too into detail about this, but for people that just want this to, you know, plug in and play, you just kind of add it in there. But I want to show you what it looks like if you go into the editor, because sometimes you'll have to go in here and make some small adjustments. So this is kind of like the editing screen. It looks a little scary at first, but you might just have to kind of mess around with it for a little bit, and eventually you'll kind of get the hang of things and just going in and screwing around with it. You can actually adjust certain things in here just by clicking on this, or you can click on it in here. So let's say we wanted to change the timer, right? Like you can even see here, like the whole timer isn't even showing. So we're gonna have to make it a little bigger so it will show. Here we go. Yeah. So, you know, you can just drag the size around. It should show it. You can drag this around. But like, let's say like you didn't want it to be 10 minutes, right? You can make it 15 minutes, right? So whenever you make any changes, anything at all, make sure you always hit the save button when you're done. So otherwise it won't actually show it. So now it'll actually start in 15 minutes instead of 10. So once you're ready to actually put it in OBS, you can just hit launch. You can hit the copy button for the link. We're going to minimize and go back in here. So now we're going to add a browser source because I copied a link, right? So we're going to just call that starting scene. So you're going to just copy the link here. I always like to make sure my width and height match my monitor resolution with any type of overlay or widgets. Otherwise, you may not see it pop up. So I'm using a 1920 by 1080 screen, so I'm going to enter that as my resolution. So when you do that, it'll take a minute to load, and then boom, here you go. Here's your starting screen. I believe this is like a little chat box that shows up. So once you have that in here, you can also, let me see, let me make sure. Oh yeah, so this is important. So when you do add this, keep in mind that this is a link. So whenever you open up OBS, it has to open up that link every time. And sometimes the link doesn't refresh, so it may not show up. So make sure you click this button right here, refresh browser, when the scene becomes active, so it'll remember to refresh the page whenever you open it. If for some reason that also isn't working, you can just click this. This kind of just hard resets the page link, and it should usually work after that. So, and it just refreshed it right there. So there you go. That is just adding an overlay. And you can just kind of rinse and repeat that. In fact, hold on, I just noticed something. Let's say like you started this page and you wanted to reset the timer because you weren't actually ready yet. You can hit refresh cache and it should restart the timer. Cool. I did not know that. So if this is your thing and you like this, then and you like the built-in timer and everything, good. You know, that part's kind of done. I have another way of adding a timer because I have a custom overlay, so I don't have a built-in timer on mine. However, there is a neat little program called Snaz that you can just Google and download. Little tool right here. It's really neat. You know, it's pretty much a built-in timer. You can just download it here. And let's say I wanted to add this extra timer, right? The way this timer works is you're going to want to go in and add a text file. So what you're going to want to do first is add that text file, and then you're going to want to open up the program, right? So when you're looking at this, you can show the date, you can show what time it is, you can also add a timer. So let's add, let's just say, let's start this in like 20 minutes. So we're gonna add, this button right here makes it the current time, and then you just change the time to whatever you want it to be. So let's see, here it might get a little tricky. So how I remember to do this is, you'll see here it says copy path to clipboard, and you'll see copy countdown.txt file. So for some reason the countdown file doesn't show, right? The other ones do, but all you got to really do is just copy one of these two, go in here, you're going to click read from file, and then you're going to browse, you're going to copy that link, change this, if it says date or time, to countdown. And then you can also like adjust like the font and stuff, but then you hit OK. And then that should be in, so then you just hit start. And there we go. You get a little timer. So if you want to add your own timer and not have an overlay, you can do that as well. And what's cool with this too, you can add like a little message. So like, let's say, you know, like let's go, like, you know, it changes to the message when it's done. And when you hit stop on here, it'll get rid of it. So and the next time you start the timer, it'll just pop back up again. So again, you know, just neat a little extra feature if you want to try a different way of adding a timer. So we can get rid of that for now. So next, we're going to talk about widgets. Widgets are, you know, your alert boxes and things like adding like a media feed and all that cool stuff. So we're going to go back to the theme gallery. Now, what I've noticed is you have your widgets, which are kind of like, you can add stuff like a stream uptime counter, instant replays, like an emote counter, but alerts, like the alert box, has its own page, because really the alert box kind of does a lot of different features. So let's just find one like this one. Again, you can preview it, just kind of see what each of these look like. So we're going to create the overlay, create new. Let's just do alerts. I pressed a button on accident. So we're going to go back to the overlay, and you're going to see it here. Like you see the overlay, and we're just going to, we can go in again, we can go into the editor, and you can adjust like how each of these are going to look. Like, you know, you can change the image, you can change the volume, you can change like how the alert message reads, how long it is. Like again, a lot of this stuff you might have to just tinker around with, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy to get it to how you like it. But let's say we're happy with it. We're gonna launch it, copy it. We're gonna go in here, and we're going to add it as another browser source. And we're just gonna call it alerts. Okay. So do the same thing, copy the link, make sure you set it to the full resolution, refresh, and hit OK. Now you can't see it at first because you have to activate it. So one thing I like to do when I'm testing things is make sure you lock your start screen, because you could click on this and accidentally move this. But since alerts is the only thing I have, and now this is locked, I know what I'm dragging is the alert box. So let's just center it. It should appear relatively in the middle of the screen since your resolution is the same. So then I'm going to pull up OBS. I'm just going to have it to the side. You're going to hear multiple dings because I have my actual OBS up. So you're going to hear the alerts for my page as well as this one. So we're going to just do like a follower just to test it out, right? So click, and this little bell right here is like, it allows you to test all the different alerts. Click on test follow. So boom, shows it up in here. It even shows it up in here too to let you know it's testing. So there you go. Now you have an alert box built in, and whenever anything happens during your stream, it'll pop up. So that's how you pretty much have, and so now you have an overlay and you have an alert box. And when you're adding different scenes, make sure you copy this into each of your scenes, the alert box, because it's only going to be in this scene unless you add it to the other scenes. But again, you can just copy it and paste it and it works fine. So next, we're going to just kind of look at some extra things. Let me go back to... Hey guys, I also wanted to add this little bit of content. I wanted to just show you real quick also about adding like a webcam. So real quick, we're just gonna pull up OBS. I'm gonna add a video capture device. We're gonna just call it webcam. Okay. If you have it plugged into your computer, it should show up as whatever. So we're just gonna do the webcam. And there's the webcam, boom. So, you know, if this is all you really need, then there you go. That's it. Now, if you wanted to like add a border, let's say, some of the overlays have like already borders built in, so you just take the webcam, resize it, and then just fit it in the frame. Now, let's say, let's see, can I put this over there? Yeah. So let's say I wanted to add a border like myself, okay? And I didn't want to use an overlay, so you can do this in a couple of ways. We're just going to add a webcam border. You could find images on the internet of borders, and you can just use those. So I'm just going to real quick open up one that I have just to show you. Let's see, border art, webcam stuff. There we go. Let's use this one. So boom, look at that border. Oh, where'd it go? Oh well. Oh, okay. I'd hit OK first, that's why. Okay. So there you go. You can just pretty much resize it to make it fit. Now, sometimes some of these borders don't fit too well. So, like I showed you before with the transform, we're gonna go into edit transform. So I'm gonna show this off. All you really need to do is just adjust this so it fits the webcam. So the sizes are pretty much going to be what you rotate here, and really you could just click on it and then use like the arrow keys to make it go a little faster. And then you can just tune it to where it fits, and boom, there you go. Got a neat little border around here. Now, another way you could do this, if you don't want to find an image, or if you don't want to use an overlay, some webcams like Logitech has like its own programs that have like built-in borders and even some filters and fun stuff like that. So here, I'll show you. I'm going to open up Logic Capture. I might have to change my webcam. Let's see. Hold on one second. Okay, so it's not available. So what we have to do real quick, we're going to go back to the webcam. So you'll notice I picked the webcam itself, right? But with Logitech, it's also got a thing called Logic Capture. So we're going to click on that. We're going to pull that up. So there I have this webcam. You'll notice too, this one looks a little nicer. Like the quality looks a little better. Theoretically, again, you could do the same thing with what I just showed you, or if you have something like the Logic Capture program, you can go in and change some settings, like you can add a border. Let's see if I can make it pop up. You know, give yourself a little border like that. You can change the color of it. You can add filters like this or like this, you know, just funny stuff like that. So, you know, if you have like a software built in with your webcam, I would utilize that over just using like, you know, just the webcam itself, because, you know, it can add some fun features. So that's just a little tidbit there, help enhance the look of your stream overall with the webcam editor. I mean the widget page. So the alert box again pretty much does about everything you would typically need, but if you're looking for extra stuff, you can go to the widgets, again, there's a lot of widgets here that they already have pre-built in. If you want to search Google, there's probably other widgets out on the internet you could look up. So you're not limited, as long as you can get like a link that has a refreshable page. You're pretty much good to go. So let's say we wanted to add a uptime counter, right? So we're just going to hit create new overlay, uptime. I'm just going to copy this time. We're not even going to bother editing. And we're going to add browser, uptime, add the resolution, refresh, and then boom, and there we go. Now you have your uptime counter. You can make it bigger. You can adjust the font in the editor page just to whatever you want it to be. So, but this is like a little timer that'll just say how long your stream's been up. And again, like once you have like your alert box where you want it to be and you don't really want to move it, you can just hit the lock button so you don't accidentally click on it and drag it somewhere else. So pretty much that essentially covers how to really set up a quick little page and get everything going. Then the last thing we'll talk about as far as looks go before we move on to the chatbot is merch. Now, I think Slobs does something like this too, but once you kind of get to the point where you have maybe your own logo, your own brand you want to add, the Stream Elements will actually prompt you to set this up. So all you really do is, it's a really simple setup. I won't go into detail too much about it because you kind of have to set up a new account for it to prompt. But you just upload some of your images. It'll auto paste it onto some merch. It'll create a website for you. It even creates some custom links that you can add to your Twitch page, and they have images too, which is nice. Let me see if I can find those. Promote. Let's see. Merch command, merch panel. Yeah. So like you go into like the promote here, and you have like all these cool different like links you can use. It'll create a command for you automatically. Like it's really nice and automated. It'll just add a bunch of cool stuff. You can even add your own stuff on your own eventually. Like, well, for now you can only add certain things. So this is kind of like in a beta type stage. It's still pretty much testing, but it's a nice feature. Just a little extra way to promote yourself. But again, it's pretty much done the same way you would do any like widget or alert box. Just, you know, again, something you can tinker around with. So with that being said, we're going to move on to the bot now. So in the last video, I already mentioned where you could set up your bot and your donation links. So when you set up the bot, you know, it'll pretty much make a bot for you, and then you'll have a little bot panel. So when you click on bot, the first thing you're going to see is bot modules. Modules is pretty much like a command with a bunch of other commands included in it, so it's like a tree of commands. So it would probably be easier just to go into the user management tab, where you can look at default commands, and then you'll notice like if it has a module attached to it, it'll link it in the module. So with the bot it makes, it has a set of pre-listed commands you can edit, you can turn on and off, and so on. Like let's say let's see, which one you can edit, like account age. So you can like click on it, you can determine who you can use it, how often people can use it, and stuff like that. A lot of these commands are pretty much built in. You could always Google like custom commands that'll give you like the code you can use. Like I think this tells you the code right here. Yeah, so I think the variables here, I think, kind of are what you use in the code itself. If you want to look up, like, it has like a little helpful guide, so that's pretty cool. But here you can add your own commands. If you used another bot previously before coming over to Stream Elements, you can import your settings. You can just click on whatever bot you use. It's a pretty simple transfer process, and then when you're done, it should show all your commands in here. In the user management page, you'll see you have different people listed for like either bots or moderators and so on. And the main thing you want to add in here, at least, is your Stream Elements bot if it's not already in here. So you add it in Stream Elements, but then there's a second part where you have to actually add it in Twitch. So the easiest way to do it for most people is you would just hit /mod and then enter the name. So you would just hit /mod Stream Elements, hit enter, and then it would add them as a mod. If you want to look at it at a different angle, you would go to the Stream Manager tab here, go to Community, and go to Role Manager. And it'll show you here who is currently a moderator in your channel, and you can always just add them manually this way as well. There's more than one way to do it, really. So once you do all that, the chatbot's pretty much set up, ready to go. And if you want, you can even test out some commands. Let's just go in here, add account age, and should post it right there. So that's pretty much the quick and easy way to set up commands. You can also add things like spam filters if you want to like prevent people from spamming words or emotes, or even like block certain things. You can add timers, so like if you want to have like the Nightbot say something, or the chatbot say something periodically, it'll do that. Like you can say like how often it says it, when to say it. Just a lot of ways to help keep the chat engaged with stuff going on in chat, with things going on while you're streaming. But let me see, is that everything I was going to talk about? Yep. All right, so that pretty much will cover it for this portion of the series. I feel like I've covered like all the basic things as far as making your stream look nice and pretty. Oh, I guess that's one thing I should look at right here. So you'll notice in the starting screen, my chat did show up here where it says I put account age, and you can even change the font in here because it doesn't really show up well in this background. But sometimes it won't show things like Nightbot commands in here just because I think it's just a filtering thing. But you know, if you go into the editor for this page, you can again tinker with the settings a little bit and change the font and the color and all that stuff. But anyway, I still have one more part of this series to do, and that will be going over the I guess fine-tuning the settings of your stream to make sure it runs properly. As always, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them. I'm going to be posting this series on both my YouTube page and my blog, which I will reference all accordingly. So please let me know your thoughts. I hope this helps anyone who is really wanting to start streaming but has no idea where to begin and would at least like to have a decent looking stream. And I will see you guys next time. Brother Ghesh out.